MAGA! Nail polish coming off. Al got like 3 more weeks of nail polish. In Trump's America, nail polish is done. What are the new pronouns, Akash? Tell them the new pronouns.
MA/GA. MAGA. That word is back.
That one is also
That word is back.
Everything's back. When we walked in, Dove was singing, MAGA, Nagila, MAGA, Nagila, MAGA, Nagila, MAGA. Listen, we've been very fair and unbiased about this election. Unlike some of us, Alex has been riding Kamala's fucking roti for the last 3 months.
That's good.
Okay, that's an Indian.
That was good.
Dove, why don't you just stand directly in front of all 3 cameras?
More in the
Why don't you just put the Chablis down? Put it down. No, we know. We know you got to eat first. We know you got to eat first.
What a surprise. Dove comes somewhere he's not welcome and won't leave.
Yeah. They get kicked out. It's 110.
We call you the little hats and you're wearing the biggest hat possible. Why are you doing that?
Okay. In all seriousness, I want to have a conversation
You're not wearing your sign yarmulke, bro?
What?
No.
It's in his back pocket. It's his lucky charm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But in all seriousness, guys, let's have a real conversation.
Yeah.
Alex, what are you feeling? You know, what's going on in your mind? You know, how are you dealing with the information?
Nah, it's a great day, you know. I woke up to racist text messages and DMs and stuff.
A lot of S's in that word for you, right?
Yeah, it was.
What'd they say? In text, who raises text messaging?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
bold.
just DMs, just DMs.
Yeah, come on. Text message is crazy.
With the victim ideology.
Right?
No, but my group chat of all black guys, they got to hit me with the racist shit.
So they happy, bro. They're happy.
Oh, they are.
Come on, bro.
My friend Tobago.
I shouldn't have gone to you first. I knew you were going to bring down the mood.
Okay. Mark, what's your mom
tell me
say?
what the family celebration was like. What was the group chat doing? Like,
Group chat's divided.
why?
Some people are like, hell yeah, Trump's president, let's fucking go. The other half is like the corporations have taken over and Satan is now in charge. Because ultimately all politicians serve Satan. Okay? So there's no political discourse
Yo,
without
Mark's
Satan
mom
being
is
it.
the shit. We should have had her on today. That would have been the best.
Yeah,
And just
1000%.
watch her just laser beam Dove for 2 hours on a podcast. Staring straight into his soul.
Yeah.
You guys knew who was going to win.
Dove would convert. Dove would absolutely convert.
Okay, what are you feeling, Akash?
Yo, I kind of smugly satisfied. Like, this what y'all get. Y'all didn't want to come on Flagrant. You know what they told us? It was too big of a risk. It was too big of a risk for Kamala to come on. Okay, you fucking loser. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a kind of a risk in not doing any big podcasts.
Bro, you know what? We told a little Chinese man once. He was running for mayor of New York City.
Yeah.
We say, yo, if you wanna be mayor, you gotta come on Flagrant. The only way that you can be mayor of New York City is if you come on Flagrant.
Yep.
Said it was too big of a risk.
And now look at him. Where is he?
Selling
Anybody heard his
insurance.
name for 5 years?
Selling insurance in Wisconsin.
Nah, yeah, he has a nice podcast.
Does he?
That records at a WTF Media Studio.
Oh my
in
God!
Midtown
With all due
Manhattan.
respect, he's great. He's absolutely amazing. Are you sure it's him? It is over in Canal Street, so I don't want you. I just want to make sure you're not being racist right now.
Podcast. I pay him rent. He delivers my sushi.
It is weird. It's weird. He collects rent from me at the end of the month. That is a peculiar arrangement. Now, yeah, just a wild time. It's just a wild time. Okay, let's get into a lot of different conversations.
Well, how are things in your household?
I didn't tell y'all, or maybe I did tell y'all. I tried to pull Larry David yesterday. Cause you know me, the idea of like going to vote just seems like such an effort. Oh my God! Then my address was in a different place, and I was like, I'm not going all the way up to that polling thing. So my wife,
5 blocks away.
no, it was on 58th.
Oh, why?
Good.
Because business manager put the address, like a whole thing, whatever. Anyway, so I asked my wife, I'm like, yo, who you voting for? She goes, I'm voting for Kamala. You know, like we have a daughter and I'm worried about her reproductive rights.
Let's go.
And I was like, that's a good ass point.
Yes,
That is a good ass point. And then I also, hold on.
Women, smart women.
I also calculated, I was like, probably got another couple elections before them reproductive rights are gonna kick in. I think we can fix that shit up. I think we got about 2 or 3 more before we're gonna need one of them.
2 or 3. Come on.
Wait, right?
Yeah, about 5 or 6, hopefully.
No, you're right. Why am I even saying?
8 to 12 is crazy.
What you worried about, man?
It was wild.
Yeah, it was. 'Cause how many years did I think Trump was gonna be there? Forever. You heard that, Shifty? MAGA.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's no more
Shifty?
elections.
MAGA.
Yeah, we never have to vote again. How convenient is that?
That is
no
nice,
more
dude.
elections, bro.
Anyway,
That is nice.
So I asked my wife, I'm like, yo, who you voting for? She goes, Kamala. And I'm like, all right, look, I want to do a Larry David with you. So I'm going to vote Trump. You're going to vote Kamala. If neither of us vote, then we did vote.
Yeah.
Right? Because they cancel each other out. This is a Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. She goes, all right, that kind of makes sense. Then hits me up midway through the day. I went and voted.
Yes.
I said, this motherfucker. I said, this motherfucker is trying to get one over on me. I rolled right to the closest precinct. I said, yo, can I vote here even though I'm not signed up? And they were like, yeah, this is America. You don't even need an ID. You don't even need to speak English. You could walk in here with a Venezuelan flag and a gun and you could vote. So I walked in there and they were like, you could sign an affidavit or some other bullshit. And I just voted.
Hell yeah.
Evened it out.
They take them shits, throw them right out. They ain't trying to do extra work.
They do. All right, so let's get into this discussion real quick. What do you think the real decision was that was made by the American public?
Economy.
You think it was in my estimation, this is what I think it was: a referendum on liberal politics and leftist politics. I don't think it was Trump populism. I think a lot of people are going, Trump is this amazing populist and he was just so engaging and everybody just fucking loved him. No, I actually think in the same way that people voted anti-Trump, let's say in 2020, I think people were voting anti-democratic leadership in 2024. And I think that's evident across the board. I mean, you saw your DA in California get knocked down. The Republicans flipped the Senate. The voter turnout is much higher. They win does he win every swing state?
Yeah, I don't know if she got a single one, dude.
So, like, to me, it's a rejection of the current state of liberal politics and the fact that those people felt concerns that were not met by Democrats on the campaign trail. They had no real answer for the border. They just gaslit people about the border. They had no real answer for the economy. They had no real answer for anything.
Nope.
So I think it was one, a rejection of liberal politics, and then two, just like a truly like once in a lifetime awful candidate. I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can
discredit or
not discredit, but discount. I don't think you can discount that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have a star.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, when I saw Obama on the campaign trail, I was like, holy shit, this guy's a fucking superstar. Yeah. And then you see her like flopping around like a fish on a boat, and it's like, it was just brutal, you know? So I think it was a rejection of leftist policies and leftist politics, along with just a truly horrible candidate.
The other part of the politics I think that people were fed up with was just the games Democrats play in the guise of democracy and like we're the ones who care about the people. Nobody elected Kamala, just like nobody wanted Hillary in 2016. You're so eager to have a woman president or whatever it is, to whatever your reasoning is. This is the corporate person. Fuck actual democracy in action during the primaries. Let's put in the candidate we want. And then I think it's one of the worst campaigns. I think she could be a good candidate, but it was maybe the worst campaign I've ever seen in my life.
Is legacy media done?
Legacy media is done.
So I have theories on this. I think, okay, because you got to look at it two ways. Is legacy media done, or was Kamala so bad that even with the influence of legacy media, they couldn't get it over the hump? For example, if Michelle was running or if Barack was running with legacy media in its current state, I think they might be able to still get it over it's a maybe.
Yeah.
But, so I don't think legacy media is completely done. But I do think that there is something very interesting that happened here. Legacy media still gets the eyeballs. It still gets the views. Yeah. And it still has cultural influence. Up until election night, we all thought that it was a close race. Yeah. That's legacy media. That is constantly pushing narratives that not only is it close, she might be ahead. Iowa's going to her. Yeah. She's going to flip all the states. It's going to be an absolute mauling, right? That is legacy media pushing a narrative and people believing said narrative, right? So, I mean, if you look at all the pollsters, they had her winning day of. Yeah. Like outside of like Polymarket, which I don't even know if you can credit because it's just dudes gambling. It's like there's no actual women represented. That's what I was like, women aren't gambling. Yeah, so I don't. So I look at this. I look at a legacy media, and I'm like, okay. Now here's the difference, and I'm not just saying this because we're podcasters, but Trump went on podcasts, did these long interviews. Kamala did some podcasts too. But most of them were short, very contrived interviews. It was very controlled. It was things edited out. It was, it wasn't exactly the free form speech that we're kind of used to. Also specifically targeted to one demographic. Like you could tell in the last month that the campaign was like, we want black people to come out and vote. And we really aren't trying to reach out to anybody else. Yeah. and which is a huge, I think, problem for them because they just got lower all around turnout.
Yeah.
And maybe if they spoke to more people, then
Yeah.
more people could have been inspired. But here's the thing that happens. One thing that podcasting has done that's been really effective is build community and connection, right? Like if you look at the biggest touring stand-up comedians in the world, right? They all have podcasts where they've built this amazing community and connection. And like we talk to people every single week. They know intimate details about our life. To me, what that's proven is that just because people are famous doesn't mean you go out,
Yeah.
right? Connection is actually what makes people go out. There are comics on SNL that I don't know if they could sell out a weekend of shows at a comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're on the biggest comedy platform in the world. And then there are comics who have podcasts that can sell out arenas.
Yeah.
To me, the difference between new media and legacy media is connection.
Okay.
The purpose of this podcast is to get people to invest in our lives and then be along for that journey, be it we go do stand-up shows, we go do some sort of live tour, some live activation, just be part of our lives. The purpose of legacy media is to sell depression pills. That is the purpose of the show.
Yeah.
They're creating the show so that they can sell those depression pills.
Yeah.
That's not to say we don't have ads. Of course we have ads. We didn't originally. For months, a year when we started this. The purpose of this was to build a community and a connection. And I think that fatal flaw, her not going onto these podcasts, is that people weren't able to make that connection. And just as people come out to shows because they build that connection with us here, they came out to vote because he built that connection.
Yeah.
People leave the house. When they didn't have to leave the house to vote, they voted for Biden. They mailed it in. When they had to leave the house to go to a stand-up show or leave the house to vote, you better fucking, we talk about this all the time. It's an investment. Putting on fucking clothes, standing in line for a couple hours.
And we only mailed it in because we were locked inside for 6 months. We had nothing else to do.
For sure.
I'm not mailing in if I can go outside and do things.
Sure,
Because we could have mailed in this time, but we're not. I think when I say legacy media is done, I mean, they can still set a narrative. People still watch it. Their influence is, them being the most influential force in the world is done.
I don't know if, I wouldn't say done. I would just say that like, they don't have the connectivity.
Sure.
And the great disruption with new media is the connectivity.
Yeah.
And before, and the reason why I create the analogy with comics is like before there were comics that could sell out shows by being in a commercial. Mm-hmm. Like they're in a commercial for Pepsi and they could sell out a weekend of shows just because there were so few famous people.
Yeah.
Now everybody is gone viral.
Yeah.
What type of connection do you have with your audience?
I think legacy media just hits a different crop of voters. It's
Okay.
like with the advent of like TikTok is Facebook done? It's like, well, I think Facebook just kind of hits like a different group of people in a different age bracket, in a different geography. And I think legacy media effectively does the same thing. I think younger people are probably seeking connection more so. And that community, specifically digitally, is probably more valuable to younger people. Whereas like, I don't know, our parents are not listening to podcasts, but they'll probably tune in to CNN or Fox or whatever, and they'll watch that and then get their information based off that.
Yeah.
So I think mobilizing young people podcasts is the way to go.
Yeah.
And then as far as getting older people, I think you have to, now are in a position where it's not pick one or the other, but you have to play both.
Yeah. And she chose not to play one.
Unbelievable.
Or she played it in a specific way that I think hurt her negatively.
This is so dumb.
Yeah.
Like Call Her Daddy, I don't think you can discount. Breakfast Club, I don't think you can discount. But I think in order to get all of them, you need to do all of them.
Like they only did, outside of Call Her Daddy, it felt like they only did black podcasts. And to me, if I'm an American voter, I'm almost like insulted by it. I'm like, hey, we're here too. Like, I know we don't live in fucking Wisconsin or Pennsylvania, but we also care about what you're going to do for us. And if you're just talking about these things the month before the election, we might feel like you don't give a fuck about what's going on for us.
The way I'm wired, if I'm a black voter, I'm sorry to interrupt. If I'm a black voter, I start to feel a little insulted.
You feel pandered to?
Yeah, like what do you do? All you ever do is you're gonna go have a fucking town hall. You're gonna go do all the smoke, and those are great platforms, but like that's all you're gonna do is just sit here and talk to me. Like this is the liberal thing where it's like, yo, you're not equal.
Yeah.
You're a little less than us, so let's just pander to you like you're a fucking moron, and you'll buy into it because you're so fucking stupid and helpless as a minority.
Yeah.
Fuck you, suck my dick. Talk to America, and I'll listen, and I'll choose who I want.
Right.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I think part of the reason Obama got elected was because he got a lot of the black people, the black vote out to actually vote. A large percentage of the black community do not go out and vote. So I think that was part of the strategy of targeting a particular group to try to get them as happy and energized to get out to actually vote like Obama did. I think using podcast was a great strategy on both sides. This was the first election run that they ever did that.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was hit or miss. Let's say Trump loses, people would have been like, he wasted all that time going on podcasts instead of just going out and
I don't think
doing
that. I don't
just
think
talking to the
No,
people.
no. I think
People
it's-
could have
yeah.
said that.
What do
This
you
was
think
a gamble.
if Trump lost?
Yeah, no, I'll get to that. We'll go.
And so it's like Obama's amazing strategy was utilizing social media during his run. And that was never seen before. So I think it was just the fact that they tried new things and some worked, some didn't. And clearly Trump connected with people better than Kamala.
So if I can respond to that, sorry. I think this, if you watch sports, this is what always happens. If a team goes for it on fourth down and they make it, coach is a genius. If they don't, he's an idiot. It always, hindsight influences everything. I think even if Trump lost, personally, I would have been like, no, he lost because of January 6th. He lost because of XYZ, all these other things that happen outside of the podcast world. If you just look at raw numbers of Joe Rogan and say, 60 million views on YouTube alone for a guy who's still bigger on audio, just hitting that raw number of people, if you're like, no, you know what's going to win me the election? Let's go do a black podcast that gets 1/100th of that listen.
Charlemagne said to me, the number one podcast with black listenership and viewership in the world
It's Joe Rogan.
is Joe Rogan. So you chose not to go on the biggest podcast for black people in the world. Like, that is a huge choice.
Yeah.
And while doing that, you could have also hit all these other people as well. To me, the strategy is they weren't ready for the pushback and they wanted to go on platforms that were going to be more comfortable, with their control and their hand. Life tour, last few dates. Reno, we had his second show. San Jose, Portland, you guys are all sold out. Thank you so much. New York City, I love y'all, man. All 4 shows sold out. And then Honolulu, that is the final day. Go grab those tickets, Honolulu. Some seats left for that. Those are the last shows of the Life tour. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you out there. TheAndrewSchultz.com. Peace.
Also, guys, shows real quick. First of all, London, I'm coming through next week. Maybe we do a little pop-up, maybe we don't. I don't know. I'm going to be giving a speech at Oxford. Who would have fucking thought? Anyway, November 22nd and 23rd, I'm going to be in Rochester at the Carlson. December 4th, I told you guys these tickets are going to sell out. We're almost sold out for my shows at Governors in Levittown. I am a hero in Long Island now. Before, they didn't like me. Now they love me. I wonder why. Maybe because I got their president elected. Anyway, December 6th and 7th, I'm going to be in Albany, New York. I think those are my last dates for the year, but get those tickets. And we're going to start announcing 2025 dates soon. AkashSingh.com. Let's get back to the show.
Pottstown, PA, this Friday, November 8th. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's.
Do
and
it
then
again without looking at your phone.
I just had to double check.
November 8th.
November 8th.
It's November 8th. Here, let me just do
But
your
then
thing.
Stamford, Connecticut.
Do it again. Do it again. Let's do it again.
Pottstown, PA, this Friday, November 8th. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's. This Wednesday, Stamford, Connecticut. I'm going to be at New York Comedy Club. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Is that it? Is that all we got?
World's fastest ad read.
You didn't say New York's Comedy Club.
This could be your head right there, ladies.
You didn't say
You know what I
Stamford,
mean?
Connecticut.
I want to make it fast. That way people
No,
go.
but they're going to think that it's New
This,
York Comedy Club
ladies,
in
right
New York.
here.
No,
your
Stamford,
face.
Connecticut, New York
your
Comedy Club.
face.
One more time.
Right here.
I just-
Or guys.
If it's too long, people are going
Oh.
to skip.
Oh.
Hypothetically, let's say Kamala does go on Rogan, goes on Lex, goes on Theo. Does she win? I don't think so. I think fundamentally the strategy of her campaign was flawed from the get-go, and I think Biden largely kiboshed her odds by just pulling out so late.
Yes.
That even if she had done these things, I think it absolutely would have helped, but I don't think it would have won her the election.
Yeah, I think it would have won her the election if she was good.
Well, yeah.
And the reality is, it's like, we'll never know if she was good because we were never given her.
Right.
And the most real you've ever seen her is when she and Charlemagne were sitting down, and I was like, Charlemagne, don't have any callers call in. Don't. I said it on Brilliant Idiots. I was like, you just need to talk to this woman for 3 fucking hours. That is the closest that we've seen her to being a real person and not just a politician. Talk to her. That is the way that American can get to know her. America doesn't know her. They've seen her flip-flop on every single issue, which is okay. I'm okay if politicians change their mind. I'm totally okay with that. But give me an explanation as to why. They've seen her gaslight about the border. Haven't answered a single fucking question about the border correctly or with any amount of confidence that made the American people believe that they were going to do something different. There are real issues that they didn't touch on. And I feel like Charlemagne could be, I'm biased, but I think he could have been the guy to actually push her to answer those questions.
But like Mark said, I think Biden dropping out so late fucked her up.
I don't know.
She didn't have enough time
She
to
don't win a
prepare.
primary. I don't think if Biden doesn't run again and they have a primary, she don't win the primary.
Bro, we just got to call it what it is.
Do you
She
think it
sucks.
would have been different do you think it would have been different?
I don't
if she
think
had
she's
more
good.
time to prepare for this run.
I truly don't.
I
I
disagree.
truly don't.
Here's the
Because
reality.
the things you're complaining about is like, oh, hey, we didn't hear enough from her. It's
No,
like,
no.
Hey,
That-
if you had more time to
The
hear
horse
enough
ain't
from her,
fast. That's all it is. It's like the
Also-
horse ain't fast. Like she's not a Ferrari, bro.
No, I'm not
Also-
disagreeing with that.
When I'm real quick.
I'm-
So it's like so far what we saw, she had plenty of opportunities to win us over. It's not like she didn't have every single podcast that she could have gone. It's not like she didn't go on one podcast that people said, "Yo, you gotta listen to this. This shit is kind of fire." No matter what she went on, people were like, "This shit sucks." Right? The only thing that she did that was pretty good was the Brett Byer thing on Fox.
I think the Call Her Daddy.
I like to call her daddy, to be honest.
good as
I
well.
thought in moment. I wasn't like completely floored or whatever, but there were moments where I was like, that was really thoughtful, and it was a unique way of answering that question that didn't sound like a robot was answering it.
Yeah.
And that was, maybe I was looking for very little. I saw that. To your point, I would say not having time. You had ample opportunity to do Joe Rogan and said, "Oh, you need to come to me, and I only give you an hour." And then these fucking liberal idiots were like, "Why won't Joe do that?" Joe is Oprah this day and age. If George W. Bush is running in 2000 and says, "I want to be president, Oprah, but I'm not coming to Chicago,"
It was a
you
cop-out.
come to Texas and I give you 20 minutes.
It was a
Oprah
cop-out.
says, "Suck my dick, motherfucker. I'm not doing that."
It was a
And we
cop-out.
all got it. Joe got it. You want to be president? You go. Don't talk about 90 days. What you needed a day, 3 hours. Go to Rogan.
I hear
You were
what you're saying.
campaigning right next door. Go to
It's fine.
Rogan.
It's fine. It's fine.
I hear what you're saying, bro, but
It's fine.
it's still something
We
new.
just can't cop. We can't cop please.
Well,
for
that's
like,
what people are going to do because
Yeah.
they don't want to acknowledge like what just happened, and they don't want to acknowledge the reality. There's gonna be some people that I think will move on from this and be like, "Hey, the Democratic Party did not address the needs of the people. That's why the people overwhelmingly rejected them." And hopefully, the people that are thinking that are the people in control of the Democratic Party, because I don't think anything would make us happier. Think about this right now. Like everybody's looking at Trump, right, as if he's like this big bad Republican. Who is surrounding Trump right now? Tell me his team.
Elon, RFK
Democrat. RFK was a lifelong.
Jr., Democrat.
Who else?
Tulsi.
Democrat. Who else?
Great.
Vivek. Democrat. Who else?
I don't know if Vivek was a Democrat.
I
but
thought he
great
was
point.
a
Not that I know of.
lifelong Democrat.
Not that I know of.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I need to check.
But either way,
My
your
point is
stands.
my point.
It's a great
and,
point.
and who has got Kamala's back?
Fucking
Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like, get the fuck out of here. My point is,
Obama.
you have.
Yeah,
you
Obama,
have-
Michelle.
Yeah, like, come on.
I mean, Obama and Michelle is a different thing. They are the institution of the Democratic Party.
Vivek did vote for Obama. He admitted, and
Yeah.
he was a libertarian, but
The point that I'm trying to make is that like she is the representative of the institution, and the institution wasn't meeting the demands of the people. The Democrats haven't won an election in the last 20 years that wasn't Obama or Obama's VP. Think about that. Like, we're really just voting for Obama, and she was too derivative. That's how much we love Obama. We're like, if you're close enough to Obama, we'll vote for you. Hillary, you weren't close enough. Matter of fact, I think you went after him a little bit.
Yeah.
So we remember that shit. So I just don't think Democrats met the people. And the reality is, those people that are surrounding Trump right now are these homeless Democrats, these lifelong Democrats, like many of us, lifelong Democrats that feel like the party has left us.
Yeah.
Those are the people. I mean, look at it. It's like a perfect metaphor for what's happening right now in America. Those people right there going, all right, I'm going to ride with this guy because he at least sees what's happening and he sees that the left has gone too far. And you know what? They went there and they were called pariahs. They're called assholes. They're called every name under the book. And the rest of America, the majority went, nah, we feel that way too.
Yeah. The Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney endorsement, like the fact that she touted it was such a strategic error.
Nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
I don't understand
I
why.
didn't get that one.
The name Cheney,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a worse name in politics.
I saw an interesting tweet. When he left as VP, he had like a 16% approval rating,
Yeah.
which is the same as Nixon. And this would be the equivalent of like Clinton running, being like, "Oh, I got Nixon's endorsement, guys. You should vote for me." It's like, it's crazy.
And then Dave Smith posted a clip, and this is just, again, legacy media and like us not believing it. A clip of Whoopi saying to Liz Cheney on The View, "You should be Attorney General. I just think you're awesome." And we're like, what the fuck is...
And what's
People are
happening?
seeing like, this is insane, right? Watching legacy media say Liz Cheney should... Hey, let's put another Cheney in a high position because we trust him.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
So let's look back at this. This is a kind of interesting thing. Obviously, we witnessed something pretty profound that's happening. Whether you like it or not, I hope we're all in this position right now where we want it to work out.
Yeah.
You know, there was a great moment when Chappelle was doing SNL.
Yeah.
I think after Trump won the first time.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
he was like, I'm rooting for you and I hope it works out. And it was this beautiful moment.
And I hope you give us the same chance I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it was a beautiful, it was so mature.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be like angry and come up with excuses and all this. And none of that's going to stop what's going on.
Yeah.
Right now, we got to hope that the best years of America are in front of us.
Yeah.
And I hope that this is the golden age once again of America. Like, I don't think anything would make Americans happier if this wasn't the next golden age that we walked right into. Right now, coming up into this election, I think we can all agree that we're in an all-time low confidence in the institutions in America, right? We didn't
In our
trust shit.
lifetime, for sure.
Like,
I think that's why she lost.
and I think
the biggest reason why she lost is she didn't do a good enough job of showing that she will be changed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She didn't.
No, I think you're right.
That's the biggest.
Actually said I
People
wouldn't have
aren't
done anything
happy,
differently.
and she's more of this.
Yeah, people
Elaborate-
they
yeah.
wanted to change president,
Yeah.
and they said, "Would you have done anything different than Biden?" She goes, "No."
That's the
So
biggest.
What are we
reason.
doing?
That
you're right.
lost her.
And I think the economic element of that, I don't think can be understated.
which is the change that you want to experience is an economic one.
Yeah.
And she's basically saying, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
You're sitting at home going, well, I
What-
can't afford food anymore.
I
Whatever
think
you're
more
mad
than the
about.
social issues, personally. Like maybe those things factor in, but I do think the idea of people being like, "Fuck, bread is this expensive. Fucking, I gotta buy eggs
and whatever
and
you're
gas."
mad about, whether it's bread, whether it's migrants, whether it's
Yeah.
reproductive rights, like anything bad that happened in the last 4, if you don't distance yourself away from that, what that person is mad about, you're the reason for it.
Yeah. And I saw
That's-
interesting
that's what lost
analysis
to
of
the
like Obama's election ads, like the ones that he paid for and Kamala's, and they did an analysis between them. And the majority of his were economic. It's like, hey, we're going to fix this. He's coming out of the recession. And then even with his second term, the economy's not fixed perfectly, but he's like, look, we need to change this. They showed Gretchen Whitmer when she was running that she was like, look, inflation is crazy, da 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 da. And then while Kamala's running, like there's all these pieces done by these Democratic political writers being like, guys, the economy is actually great. And they're like gaslighting the general public and being like, guys, whatever you're feeling is actually not true. And whether or not things actually are on the numbers, people feel like it's not.
You have to
exactly what
address
we're talking
their
about with the
feelings.
And they neglect the feeling, and as a result, it doesn't matter what it actually is. It's how people feel. And the people in the middle of the country that feel like, oh, this shit is not going well, the inflation's going crazy. The fact that she neglected that and then was going hard, and they even did like political polling in like Pennsylvania, being like, going at Democrats, being like, okay, which one of these campaign slogans resonates the most with you? It was economic policy was resonating the most, and then Trump being a threat to democracy resonating the least. And then looking at Kamala's campaign things, it was like 30% was Trump is a threat to democracy, 30% is like abortion and social issues, and then like a tiny little fraction, like 5 to 10% was economic. Yep. And so she didn't distance herself from the current economic system, and then kind of went too wide with all these other issues. Whereas Trump is just like, hey, we'll fix the economy. I'm a business guy, da 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 da. I think Trump is generally beatable from a lot of other Democratic candidates. I think they could have run people. I don't think he's like an unbeatable guy. I mean, Biden beat him.
I think
And
Pete would have killed him.
and so with that being said, it's like they just ran a bad person too late with a bad strategy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know who beats him, honestly. I think Pete is incredibly astute and charming and eloquent. There is a pathway to him becoming president, and he just has to say that he's the top. I know it sounds crazy, but
Said that
I
in the
know it
group
sounds
chat.
crazy.
Right.
But if
Al
he
said this before.
did he say
It's
on
not
the
gay if
pod?
you're a top.
Oh no.
He might have said on Patreon. It's not gay if you're the top.
Well, I think America would be like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I genuinely, but the idea that like he's getting bent over with his back arched and his boyfriend is like having his fingers in his mouth and pulling him like that.
dude,
son,
what
why
the
you-
fuck?
why you think about
Why do
this
you
so
bring that
vividly?
up?
Yeah, that's what you guys are going to be thinking about in the booth.
What the
When you're
hell?
filling
I
out
don't
your
vote, first of all.
affidavits,
It's not
that's
even-
what's going to be.
And you kind of lean over to vote too. Like you're kind of bent over a little. Like you're kind of
He's just
like,
over your shoulder.
Yeah, like ugh.
So if he's a top, I think he could definitely win. And it sucks, isn't that a shame?
But he could be a top. There's a 50% chance, really.
And honestly, I don't know if Trump could beat a man.
Yeah, that's true.
So far, he's only beaten women.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
that's true.
beats the fuck out of women.
Yo, he destroys
He
women,
fucks women up.
dude. Yo, no woman ever run against fucking Trump, man.
Yo, I was thinking this because people were saying like it's just sad that people don't care about women's rights and blah blah blah. I think when you go into the voting booth, if you got kids and you are hurting financially, it's like, hey man, all that shit sucks, but this is kill. I need to feed my kids, and that's all that's gonna matter. I do still think so much of this could have been fixed campaign wise. Like instead of saying, hey, I wouldn't have distanced anything from Biden. You know what? We definitely didn't do anything perfect. You want to sell him out? Great. Well, you know, Biden and I did everything together. We're a team.
Sell his ass out.
We made some mistakes.
Sell his
We
ass
learned
out.
from it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even know you were selling him out.
Yeah.
This is also funny that we
Biden
talk.
called me the N-word. That's what I would say. Day one.
Sell
I'd be like,
his
this guy's a
ass out,
racist
bro.
motherfucker.
My
Get him
vote.
out of here.
It's about the win.
I'd vote for Biden again.
Yeah, I thought we were voting for Biden. Let him run again.
No.
Let him walk up the stairs.
I also think we talk about this strategy as if there's not like it's one person making the decision. There's hundreds of billions of dollars behind each of these decisions. So for y'all to fuck up this hard is insane to me. For you to not understand the reach of podcasts, you're not just Kamala Harris.
They understood it. They didn't want the risk. That's what I think it is. And they didn't want her to be exposed.
High risk, high reward, bro.
Yeah.
That's
But
that's
Trump's
why you
not
do it.
worried. But Trump's not worried about it. But you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I can handle this. I'm used to people saying the worst possible thing about me for the last fucking 8 years. It doesn't even matter. So whereas Kamala, they had to protect her a little bit. You know, is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward,
You asked in the group chat, what day was it? Like, I think Sunday or Monday, like,
Yeah.
who you thought would win. And I think I was the only one
You were the
that
one that said
thought Trump.
I
Because
thought
I
Kamala was
just
gonna run away with
felt the climate. Like, I've never seen this much excitement for Trump.
You wore your red hat today. Respect.
Fuck you.
Respect that. Respect
Come on,
that.
bro. That's a sick red hat.
You did wear the red hat.
I'm about unity, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about unity.
Now,
Thank you.
here's the thing: we're on the road every weekend for shows. I did tell you guys.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Seriously.
Don't do this.
Oh my God.
I told you guys. I go. It's going to be a mauling. There's no
Yeah,
way
yeah.
that he loses
I don't
this.
think you said that.
Now let me tell you real quick. I'm on the road every weekend for
You don't
shows.
have to read the text.
I come back and I go. I think it's going to be a mauling. I don't see how he could win. The energy.
Were you on the road this weekend?
No.
Where were you performing?
I was in the city the night before, and I foolishly decided to ask some audience members who they were voting for and why.
Which
And
audience members?
Some women spoke back, weird, and they
Not anymore.
yeah, but those days are done. But so basically, they spoke back, and it seemed like they were really perturbed about the Roe v. Wade ruling.
What was that?
Perturbed?
No, that was the abortion thing?
Yeah. So,
This guy.
and here's the reality. If we just want to talk about it,
Talk about it.
you know what I mean? These women, man, they. Can I be honest with you?
Please.
Can I be honest? No, it's not even that crazy thing. I think that there are women who will never get an abortion in their life that still don't like the idea that something was taken away from them, and it's abortion is like their guns.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like we were allowed to do it, and now we're not allowed to.
Abortion is their guns is actually a fire
It's their
point.
guns.
It's actually
Yeah.
a fire point. I
Thank
actually
you.
like that. You thought Kamala was going to win because you asked a comedy audience in New York City
No, I
who they
didn't
were
think
going
she
to
was
vote
gonna
for.
win. I didn't think she
They
was
said
gonna win.
Kamala, and you were like,
I didn't think she was gonna
wow,
win.
this
I
is
didn't-
America.
I didn't think she was
the
gonna win.
Comedy Cellar, Saturday Night
No.
Audience.
It was a Monday. It was a Monday. Let me tell you something.
You should get a job on Kamala's team.
Let me
dude.
tell you something.
What a fucking unbelievable
Let me tell you
thing.
something. This is why. This is what I realized. I don't talk to women. Okay? I have a wife.
Yeah, faithful.
I talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm done talking to her, I'm not trying to hear these bitches.
You
You know what I mean? So I got all my talking right there. Okay? She didn't talk to me enough about this Roe v. Wade thing. I didn't get enough Roe v. Wade information for her. She's busy trying to book a trip to Paris. That don't seem very Roe v. Wade. Does it?
busy having a baby.
You know what I mean?
That don't seem very
You know what I
Roe v. Wade.
mean? We're holding this beautiful child.
Yeah.
If she got pregnant again, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Okay? Akash, why are you looking? You don't even know what happened with Roe v. Wade. You don't even know what happened with
What
Roe v.
happened
Wade.
with it?
Do you want to know what ended up
I
happening?
do want to know.
Do you want to know what
Please
ended
tell
up
me.
happening?
Please tell me. Please. I'm dying to know. I had no idea anything happened.
Do you think that she had the baby or not?
This guy.
Yo, I think she did have the baby.
Yeah, all this hoopla for nothing. all this
But she didn't want that
all this
baby.
hoopla for nothing.
Hey, whatever happened to that baby? Did we ever find out?
His name is Donald J. Trump. What an origin story. What a fucking origin story.
Boy who lives.
She ended up having a baby. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I gotta double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Roe or Wade?
Oh yeah, there you go. So
Talk that shit.
The woman had the baby in 1970, but she wanted an abortion. But she was forced to have the child.
We need to talk up to this kid. I mean, imagine the trauma.
She was born in Dallas, yo.
Of course she was.
Hey, we didn't want that shit to happen.
What do you mean?
Texas is a very anti-abortion place.
Yeah, but you are very getting nutted in place. You know, girls in Texas like to get cummed in.
Is that a thing?
Dude, everybody knows that. Is one of the things that we would talk about amongst comedians on the road. We were like, yo, you gotta be careful about Texas. These girls like getting cummed in a lot.
So many illegals? Because there's so many illegals?
I don't know if it's the illegals. I truly don't know the reason, but maybe it's something to do with the weather or the food even, but they love that closeness. They love that proximity. And they love the jizz.
Apparently, she's living in New Mexico, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked her in 2021. She said, "I'm neither pro-choice nor pro-life."
The daughter?
Yeah. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah,
to be.
that seems like a crazy option.
I mean, if you're the daughter, you gotta be like, phew, right? Like you gotta be like a little anti-abortion.
She grew up not knowing that she was the baby until her birth mother appeared on the Today Show in '89.
Oh, what an asshole! The
Yeah,
birth
that's
mom
crazy.
is.
Unless her life is shit and she's like, I could have lived without this shit.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what it seems
That's
like.
heartbreaking.
Son, how'd she find out her mom went on a talk show, didn't tell her?
Bro, imagine she committed suicide.
Come on, man.
Imagine she committed suicide.
Let's put the suicide
term.
prevention.
Late term.
Imagine she
The
committed-
latest
The
term
mom
ever.
shows up like, I could have done this shit for you. The fuck?
Bro, did you hear about the woman that went in that suicide chamber? Did you hear about this? Is like they have like the euthanasia chambers, and some girl went into it, like did the first successful like euthanasia,
Okay.
and then they looked at the body. There's like strangle marks on her neck, apparently.
In that pod in the woods.
The chamber just has someone else in there that just strangles the life out of you.
Chokes you out.
That's fucking disgusting.
But now they're looking into it. They think it might be foul play that someone killed someone and put him in there. They're like, no, she killed herself.
That makes
Crazy.
a lot more sense.
I don't know all the details.
That makes a lot more sense than you go to a pod and the guy walks out and chokes you.
yeah. It's more like DIY. It's more like a DIY euthanasia chamber.
Mark, this is terrifying. Not in Trump's America. Not in Trump's America would have this kind of stuff.
So what are we getting? Because I do think we swung. We were the beginning.
American Golden Age.
No, I mean, what are we getting?
The American
we
Golden
are
Age.
the tipping point. I believe this.
Before we get into that, can we just talk about like what we hope to see the next 4 years in America, right? What we would like in an ideal world. They put Roe v. Wade back on. Turn that back on.
I
Flip
think
that one.
He gets to replace 2 Supreme Court justices probably. He might pick 2 people that are low key pro-choice.
Exactly.
Because I don't think he was pro. I think he just wanted to win the election. I don't think.
give a fuck about
What's the deal with
abortion.
that? Are we banking on these people dying?
I think 2 might retire just because. This is what the Democrats didn't do. Let me just get out now in case I die and there's a Democrat in office, and then we could lose our seats. Democrats are selfish, corrupt fucks, and they're Ruth RBG was like, I'll just die and fuck women in the future. But I think 2 the conservative ones might be like, let's just get out while the getting is good, and he can appoint 2 conservative people in my place.
I understand.
So, but he's still got to get him past the Senate, and the Senate
And they won't
is,
step down unless they know who he's putting in place, and they have to be.
Yeah. Okay, but basically, I think the smart move would be to protect Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
And make an effort to protect it. And don't do this thing where you're just like, well, I'm going to let the states decide. No, federally protect it. I think that's what the majority of Americans would want right now.
What makes you think he's going to do that?
I said wishful thinking. It's just wishful
Blindly
thinking.
optimistic.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like when they say they're going to take inflation down, we go, hey, hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of them know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
But like, this is what you would
We're
hope
just
would happen.
fantasizing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
someone
yeah.
wins president in 8th grade, you're like, I'm going to make the soda and the water fountain.
School lunch is
Yeah.
free.
All right,
Yeah.
so reparations. Got
Yes.
it.
That's not
That's it. Wait,
That's
Can we
not
do
how-
reparations for all disenfranchised people?
no,
Why?
no. Us first.
Let's do gay reparations first.
Gay reparations. They got the most money anyway.
No, gay reparations, bro. Think
Nah,
about,
I am out.
think about all the gay people that were discriminated
we
against,
first.
bro.
I'm out.
Think about
on
all
that.
the Broadway shows that didn't happen that they could have got paid for. That's what I'm saying, bro. But let's do gay reparations, we'll do black reparations.
All right, guys, listen. Probably at some point in this episode, I'm not exactly sure when, we talked about the election and how Trump waxed that ass.
You could have bet on it.
Could have bet on it. You could have went with steak. You could have bet. You could have put your money where your mouth was.
Yeah, in the mouth.
Did I do it? Did I bet on it?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you fucked up.
I fucked
Because
up.
you knew, based on your shows at the Comedy Cellar, how things are going to go.
You're 100% right about that. But the point is, you can bet on really almost anything. I mean, Stake is the leader in global betting and U.S. social casinos.
Really?
I don't even know what a U.S. social casino is. Do you know what it is?
I don't know yet.
Do
Social
you
casino.
know what it is?
Gamble your
Do
friendship.
you know what it
It's a
is?
legal casino, is what it is.
Is that really
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is?
Yeah.
We need to get to the bottom of that immediately, Jamil. I don't think that people really know what a U.S. social casino is.
Want to find out at Stake.
Shit.
Stake.com.
Stake.com. Listen, if you use the promo code FLAGRANT, you're going to get a welcome bonus.
Welcome.
Shit. That shit is almost as nice as a gift basket. But I'm serious. There are things that we could be gambling on. Will the Democrats storm the Capitol?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Will they do it?
Pussy hats, blue hair, busting down the doors.
January 6th.
Yeah.
Who wants to get hit in the head with this
No,
sheet?
okay. Go back to the show.
All right. Listen, we got to get back to the show. But listen, let's all hang out at the social casino later. Let's get back to the show, man. Okay, no, in all seriousness, what do we hope happens? There's been talk about Elon getting involved in, what is it, the Agency of Efficiency, right?
Yeah.
And they're cutting a lot of the bloat in government.
Yeah.
Do we think that that is a good idea? What would that look like?
It's a great idea. I mean,
Right.
If anything gets done on that front, it'd be a win. But I think it's going to be hard to get a single thing done on that front.
I think the problem is with like a lot of these organizations is a government organization will come up and they'll come up and in support of fixing a real problem.
Yep.
Let's say that problem is cats getting in trees, right? And that agency, lobbies to get some laws passed to make trees, make the trees all be covered in, steel so the cats can't climb them or whatever. All the trees are covered in steel. Cats can't climb the trees. We've solved the problem. Okay?
I like it. I like it.
I'm trying to speak to the real American people here.
Cook,
you
brother.
fucking liberal cunt, coastal elites
Yeah.
laughing at my metaphor that actually taps into the heartstrings of the good old American
Let him
people.
cook,
Okay?
bro.
Thank you, Al.
Let's
Al
go.
understands
Yeah.
it.
Project 2025,
Thank
the cats
you.
on the tree.
Okay? You wrap the steel around the trees, all right? Especially the willows and the oaks. And when the willows and oaks are completely wrapped, the cats cannot climb up them.
Why didn't you just go with homelessness?
It's too real for people. It's too real for
just like a
people.
lot shorter.
It's too
You know what I mean?
painful.
It's just
The
like a few
pain.
syllables. It's not a whole
Okay.
sentence.
Anyway, I think I've got a great solution to cats and trees, by the way, and nobody's talking about it. I think I owe a little bit of credit for this. Okay. Think about how many people lose their cat in a fucking tree, and they just gotta sit there until it runs out of energy and falls down.
No, keep going. They
Listen.
solve homelessness.
You know
and
what?
Then,
You know what? Fuck America. I'm moving to
no,
Mexico.
don't do that. Don't do it. Come on.
So they solved the problem.
Great.
Now, do all those people that work at the Cats in the Trees Problem Agency, did they immediately retire after they come up with this genius solution? This genius solution to wrap steel around the
no,
trees?
kids, but still got it on
Kids
purpose.
got it on purpose. So what do? Trans rights. See, if y'all just let me cook, I get there always.
See,
Al believes in me.
I saw the
Al-
vision.
Al
I
knew
saw
the
the
truth.
vision.
Y'all let me cook, I
saw
get
the
there.
vision.
Chef Boyar Schultz in the motherfucking building.
Yeah.
But okay, so the point is, so they find another cause, and the causes get more and more extreme, and they get more and more ridiculous. But I have empathy for these people, right? Because these people are working, they solve the job, and they're like, well, I'm not going to fucking retire and go find another job. This is where I work. Some of these organizations, I'm sure, are doing things that are in the level of necessity very similar to Kitpa. And they can fucking get snipped.
Absolutely. Certainly there's waste in the institutions, and you just hope that they're able to strategically and surgically cut out the waste and the blow without making
But when
the
you
correction.
say it like that, nobody understands. When you say it like me, they're like, yo, we gotta fucking wrap steel around trees because cats are getting stuck up their organization. Get rid of it.
As much as a genius as Elon is, does he do it strategically? Because he went into Twitter, cut like 70 to 80% of the staff.
Yeah.
And Twitter's still down like 80% of his value since he's taken over.
But yeah, but that's perception based, and I'm okay with cutting a lot of government jobs. Like Vivek said, You cut a little muscle, that's all right with me. You
What
save
is-
a lot of fucking
What is that
money.
famous saying? Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Suffocation,
No breathing.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I tell you nothing.
Shout out. Honestly, a great counterpoint.
Yeah, Sad Guru said that. So I think
Why is he so sad?
it is a little bit obnoxious.
You're not doing your job if you're a sad guru. You should be enlightened.
Talk that shit,
You know what I mean? That's the whole
mud.
point. You know what I mean?
Talk that shit, mud.
I'm only going to accept it in Trump's America. I'm going to put up with this if Kamala won.
Nah,
if
for
Mud
real.
had won,
If Mud won,
had
if
won,
Mud beat Paper, yes, we would be fucked.
That's a sick name for the gang, bro. Dude, Muds and Crips. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? What's
Dude,
up,
the
Mud?
Muds and the Crips.
I kind of like it.
That is kind of cool. All right. In all seriousness, what do
What
we
do you guys
expect
call
for
it again?
America? Jesus.
Jeez.
I can say it now.
Why?
Trump won.
That's fine.
We back.
Yo, let's go. We
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
One more time, but you can think of some more.
Nah, but I got nothing. What else can we expect for America? Obviously, abortion's gonna come back.
Yep. Yep. You've been right about
Yo,
every abortion date you've had.
When
ever.
abortion comes back, when abortion comes back, ladies, stop being so cavalier about it.
That is important.
Yo, because we had abortion, and then Lena Dunham was out there like, yo, one of my greatest regrets is I ain't getting an abortion.
Yeah.
First of all, that's not
Thank you.
totally up to you. you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That pullout game was on Usain Bolt when they was stroking her down.
Dude, she could have got a donor. She could have got a sperm donor.
Just a scoop? You're diabolical.
That's diabolical.
Yeah.
You are fucking diabolical, Mark.
Well, did you hear about the trans person that tried to transition to get an abortion?
Mark, take his new tonic right now. Mark is on some wild shit right now.
His news is wild.
I've been
Yeah,
reading,
it
bro.
is.
I've been
He got
reading.
Zen in one hand, new tonic
Yo,
in the
what
other.
the fuck is going
know.
on here, dude?
You know Mark voted for Trump 13 fucking times.
He voted here and Florida.
Yeah, nail it.
No, great. What is this crazy story?
There's a trans person that tried to transition to be the first trans person to get an abortion.
When are they on camp?
That's a good idea.
When are they on camp?
I've been reaching out for
I
weeks.
want to go watch
I've been
it.
reaching out for weeks, bro.
I want to watch that episode.
They haven't
my
responded.
Okay?
They haven't responded.
It's a woman that's transitioning into a
A
man
man transitioned to a woman
to get an abortion.
and then get a uterus put in and then get a baby in the
You
uterus.
can't put a uterus in.
Yeah, what?
You're so small-minded.
I'm not small-minded. I just know for a fact you can't put it. I mean, you can put it in there. It's just gonna float around. It's not
Elon,
gonna
you
be
catch a
connected.
rocket on chopstick. You can't put a uterus inside a dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Catching a rocket with chopsticks is easily. You just need to make a machine that goes like that.
They are kind of chopsticks when you think about it. They're kind of already chopsticks.
It's really not that hard.
It's just,
That's it. You don't think we've made machines go dead?
come on.
There's one guy in the booth and he just hits a button and it goes dead. And people acting like this is the greatest invention of all time.
Yeah.
No, what you just said to me is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Putting a uterus inside of a man. Whew, for the sole purpose of getting pregnant and then having an abortion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the future. It's the future, bro.
Wow. Que caso.
The real
Yeah.
thing that's happening.
Yeah, it's,
No, it's not gonna
It's not a
fucking
real
happen.
thing. It's happening. It's one person on the internet that's
One
crazy.
fucking kooky mongoloid. One kooky mongoloid is going to try to do this and then cause a big stir, but not in Trump's America anymore. All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. Listen, Sober October is officially over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Basically, what happened was we recorded our Whoop scores. I won by
That's not
unanimous
true.
decision.
That's not true.
You got the
In
popular
Donald
vote?
Trump's America,
He
I
won the-
won by
He won the
unanimous
electoral scores
decision.
and the popular
I
scores.
won the electoral
There's
college.
voter fraud. There's voter
no
fraud.
voter fraud. I won the electoral college. I thwarted all of the, liberal things. And basically what's happening now is that my sleep score is absolutely incredible. I've had zero alcohol consumption in the last 30 days. And I've been getting along with my wife a lot better. Turns out when you don't drink alcohol and you sleep a lot more, your marriage is essentially fixed. It's perfect.
Wow.
I would look at my HRV score. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it HRV?
Heart rate
Yeah.
variability. That's correct.
I would look at my HRV score.
Yeah.
When I would get bricked and I would throw it in a waistband.
What?
Packing, concealed. Only semi-concealed, to be honest with you, because if I had to lift something high off a shelf, you would see my dick tip popping out over my belt buckle. Whoops.
That's what I call
Oops,
it.
there it is.
Whoops. It's really the reason why they call it whoops, right? Because you're reaching for the healthy cereal. Uh-oh. Dick tip popped up because my HRV is phenomenal. My blood flow is crazy. My dick has grown 2 to 3 inches minimum. Point is, you can see what kind of improvements in your health that you can make for yourself. Join the challenge and sign up at join.whoop.com/flagrant. And one lucky winner will win a gift basket from Flagrant. Yo, that gift basket, it comes right back to you. It's crazy. A lot of people don't know that I actually know how to.
Oh, nice snag, dog.
That's what I do.
Nice. I got worried
That's
you were
what
gonna
I
catch
do.
it.
I'm the motherfucking Silver Surfer. The point that I'm trying to make here is, come on, guys. Come on. It's November. We're drinking again.
Yes.
But we're still whooping.
Yeah.
Join.whoop.com/flagrant.
Oh.
And you will get a gift basket.
Whoop condom, bro. Whoop condom, bro.
Let's get back to the show.
What's up, Noodle Dicks? You see that blue light? You know what time it is. It's Blue Chew time. Here's the deal, guys. Is your dick game what it should be? No. You probably think it is. You're wrong. Your girl probably thinking about cheating on you right now. Honestly, if you got any fucking sense. And I am with her unless you take the necessary steps to fix your dick game. Step it up. Performance-enhancing drugs are legal in this world. In this world, that's why you need Blue Chew. Blue Chew has got all the same active ingredients as the other medicines, but it's the one that's been rocking with us since the beginning. This shit is Blue Chew. It's to chew, and you can get it for free. For your first shipment for free, all you gotta do is pay $5 for shipping. If you go to bluechew.com and use the promo code FLAGRANT, you get your first month for free. You just gotta pay $5 for shipping. You have nothing to lose. And if you want, visit bluechew.com, see all the details, all the safety information. But the point is, your girl's going to cheat on you if you don't step your game up.
What about foreign wars? Can we end those?
You know, you already saw what happened. Day one.
What happened?
The Houthis. You know who they are?
Yeah, Rwanda?
Yemen, motherfucker.
The Houthis and Tutsis?
No, that's the Tutsis and Houthis.
Oh, okay.
The
okay.
Houthis.
Okay.
They're in Yemen, and they day one were like, "Yo, my bad."
Oh, word?
Day one, they said, "My bad."
Trump be bringing the ruckus to these folks, dude. You gotta admit it. He be shutting them up.
Wait, what did they actually say?
They said, "My." I don't know how they pronounce it,
Is
but
this
it was,
true? Is this
What does that translate to in Arabic?
like?
I think
Something of
they
the sort.
said
Them saying that
means kill the Jew.
our
My
operations
bad.
in the waters off because they basically target ships that are passing and hijacking and doing all the things.
and now all of a
Saying,
sudden
"We're
it's
done.
all
We're done."
good. Now it's
We're good.
all good because they
It was
know what the
defensive. We're
fuck
good.
time it is.
Iran, they need to be worried
Ooh,
because
Ooh.
he thinks they try to take him out, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the first people I'm getting my get back on.
Let's go get our corners, Doug.
What
Yeah.
about Russia, Ukraine? He said
That's just done.
He said he would stop that.
that's over immediately. That's over immediately.
What about these Jews?
MAGA, MAGA, Nagila, MAGA, Nagila. I mean, if there's any justification or reason why I would think that they're very happy, it's the fact that I didn't want to go to 58th Street to that polling station, and Tanya goes, "I'll drive you." So I think we know what side the Jews are on in this
Oh,
one.
are they banning TikTok?
Oh yeah.
No,
Why not?
you don't have to do that now.
What? It's Chinese
No, we
spyware.
should ban
Just
TikTok.
Just put a tariff on it.
Yeah, you gotta put a tariff.
You're
Yeah,
gonna make
you
the
just
U.S.
put a
buy
tariff on it.
TikTok.
No. I think TikTok's fine.
Even if it's controlled by the Chinese government?
Yeah, what's your deal, dude?
Well, okay, my honest answer is Trump is already elected. He can't win re-election, so he's not really worried about that. So he's like, all right, do whatever you want. Like you can influence the next election, but it's not going to be me involved, so I'm going to go fuck. That's my perception. I think TikTok, in terms of influencing an election that he's involved in, is way more concerning for him than the following election. And I think by the next election, he's like, I'm 82. If my kids aren't running, which I don't think any of them will, is like,
Yeah.
I don't know how involved he's going to be, but I can't imagine it's going to be bad.
What about all the tweets? I've seen people say like, oh, America's over. This guy's going to take Project 2025 is going to destroy the country.
No,
I don't think he's into Project 2025. I don't think I'm not saying everything he said was honest, but I believed him when he said, I got nothing to do with that. That was one thing I believed. I didn't believe him when he told me I'm going to dial back the rhetoric. That I have a hard time believing. But when he was like that, because that just doesn't sound like his shit at all. And he doesn't seem like he is going to do something because they tell him to. Either part, anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not going to tell me what to do. No matter what fucking who you are, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do. You're going to try and push your little shit on me. It's not going to happen.
Now, there's a part of me that goes like, he might look back and see FDR got 3 terms.
No, that might happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, somebody just got to not tell Trump that FDR got 3 terms, because it's very possible Trump has no clue FDR was in there for 3 terms. But once he finds that shit out, he's like, hold on. The fuck did that legless dude get to do 3 terms as president? I'm definitely running back for one more. Bloomberg got an extra term when he was mayor.
Bloomberg, we should run that back, to be honest with you.
Of course. There is a world where that happens, and I would be super against that. I would be so against that. That would be the worst part. No. In all seriousness, I'd be very much against that. And I think that would be cause for concern. But I don't think he'll go after that. Genuinely. I genuinely don't think it. I genuinely don't think it.
Well, they wrote an amendment against it.
After FDR, right?
Yeah.
So there was no rule before that?
I don't think so.
There wasn't.
There was no term
I think it was like an
limits.
unspoken thing. Like, you just generally didn't do it.
Because George
Washington stepped down.
W.
So he did too. So everybody's
George
like,
W, you're right.
That's
It
what I
was
call him, George
That's
W.
funny.
Yeah.
so he did too. Therefore, other people can do too.
Yeah.
And he didn't, I think he intentionally didn't run a third time.
How much fun was having slaves that he was like, I'm tired of being president?
I'm not seeing the correlation. I mean, I'm sure it was fun.
No correlation.
I'm sure it wasn't boring.
He left the presidency to go own his slaves
But
again.
you can do both.
No, he couldn't.
If you're a president, you just you just have slaves everywhere.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it the way he wanted to. He couldn't do it the way he wanted. No. George Washington. George Washington. Like, he
You
had
think-
to be in there signing documents all fucking day, and he's looking at the field. He's like, no.
You think once Abe lost his slaves, he was like, somebody put a bullet in my head. Fuck.
Apparently, that's why George Washington left. I talked to a guy. He's like, yeah, he's like a huge land speculator, had so much money. He's like the wealthiest guy when he left presidency to this day. He's like the richest president.
Okay, so when I said it, there's no correlation. It doesn't make any sense. And then when Mark says
he made it
land
make sense.
speculation and all
He
these
made it
other
make
gay
sense.
words,
You see how he made it
now
make
makes a lot of
sense?
sense.
You see how he made it
Slavery.
make sense? You just said the two
Y'all
things.
you guys hate real Americans. You guys hate real hardworking Americans. That's what it is. You're liberal elitists. You're some champagne liberals. And when a real hardworking blue collar American like me comes
Blue
along,
collar. You can't even put a
collar-
tushy on your toilet.
What's that?
The bidet.
Yeah, because that's a gay thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have something shit in my ass.
collar, bro.
That's the most blue collar, dude. That's
What
real
is
men.
going on with you?
I'm just saying you can't install anything in your life.
Yo, can you just acknowledge that was a horrible way to prove
For
your
example.
point?
Here's a for example. I stand by my point. Here's a for example. I could have gone with a better thing you couldn't install.
build a shelf or
Here's a
something.
for example. Build a shelf would have been a
Change
better.
the oil in your
Build
car.
a shelf.
Change the oil.
Something.
Change the oil.
Change the oil. Change the flat tire.
there you go.
There's a lot of things. I just grabbed the first one.
Can't even put foam on a macchiato. You call yourself blue collar?
Can't assemble a charcuterie. Like, what about you is blue collar at all?
Yo, our guy's just so fucking rich, it's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
This guy's so rich, dude. What a rich fucking guy you are.
A lot of Indians came out for Trump. Do you think you had anything to do with it?
Yeah, dude.
You're-
Son, I'm a hero over there.
You're a
right
glowing
now.
endorsement, I think.
I'm
Really.
a hero over there.
Yeah, what did Modi say? I'm gonna be. I'm so angry.
That was the most non-racist Indian accent I've ever heard.
Yeah,
in
it
my
was
time.
Japanese.
Japanese. That was the funny. Nobody caught on to that. Nobody caught on to that. He did a Japanese.
gonna do it.
He goes, I will handle it. And we just sat there and pretended that he wasn't doing a Japanese accent. For about
Oh my god.
he might not know that Modi's not Japanese.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's Asian.
Facts. Okay, so we hope that Elon is involved. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
It is interesting that.
Worries me a little bit.
Well, okay, I want to hear that perspective.
Just because of how like quick he is with his cuts. Like in a private sector, cool, but like with the government,
So what-
it's
Yeah, I-
too many
real quick.
ramifications.
So what he said was, I thought, quite interesting. He was like, we have to take care of these people. So I think what we should do is pay them 2 years of salary the day that we fire them. We don't want people to leave and then be homeless. We don't want people to leave and hurt. These are people
I
with
didn't hear him
families.
say that.
So he's like,
Okay.
let's pay them the 2 years of salary up front. And then they'll have 2 years to figure out the next thing they're going to do with their life. And these are people who obviously can hold a job. These are people who obviously are proficient at something. So they'll go help America in other ways and hold positions in other ways. But at least we won't be kicking them out the door and then they're on their ass.
2 years.
But then also the way he
2 years is a little fucking crazy. 2 years? You get a fucking midterm to figure out what you want to do? That's nuts, dude.
You will leave my office right now.
A year is more than enough.
Nah, come on.
So whatever they end up coming to, at least what I was saying is when he said that, I was like, okay, at least there's some compassion here. Because I was concerned about that too. You have a friend who has a job that he's working for the government. And a lot of people, you remember this, like when you get a job working for the government, there's this feeling like, okay, as long as I stick in this job for 25, 30 years, I'll be safe. I'll have my, what is it called? Pension. And like, I'll be able to like retire and take care of my family.
You rich fucks don't even
We
know.
ain't rich fucks. We just never had one of them jobs.
I never heard of a job where you get 2 years paid, like paid severance.
So it's 2 years is a lot, but
Have some compassion, bro.
so caught up on the 2 years.
2 years is insane, dude. A year is honestly too much, but you can have it.
Akash is so.
So I know this motherfucker was almost poor, and he's like, "Yo,
No, he was poor. He was
I need
almost.
to go to one of these government jobs." Yeah, you asked him about
Yeah,
a
because they
government
don't do shit. All right, guys, we're going to take a break real quick because we got to talk about Morgan & Morgan. Look, if you get wrongfully injured because somebody else's malfeasance, neglect, whatever, malevolence, whatever other SAT hit parade I want to use, it sucks. All right, that shit sucks. You got to deal with doctors. Medical insurance is also sucks. The whole thing is an awful process. It's really hard. You know what's easy though? Is submitting a claim on Morgan & Morgan. You know what Morgan & Morgan is. It's America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices nationwide and over 800 lawyers, and they've recovered over $15 billion for over 300,000 clients. They've been fighting for the people for over 35 years, and most importantly, submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is super easy. So again, guys, if you are ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan, and this is important. Their fee is free unless they win. So if you lose, you don't owe them jack shit. They didn't do their jobs. The whole world should function like that. If you want more information, go to forthepeople.com/flagrant or dial pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. And that's thepeople.com/flagrant or dial pound law, pound 529 from your cell phone. You know this already, but they're lawyers, so they're going to make me say it. This is a paid advertisement. Let's get back to the show.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second because I've got some incredibly important information. Sunday, November 10th, is the epic return of Yellowstone only on Paramount Network. Listen here, the wait is over, people. The television phenomenon is back and everything is at stake with the Dutton's darkest secrets on the verge of being exposed as threats mount on all fronts. What will become of the Dutton family? Can they save the Yellowstone Ranch and their way of life? How far will Beth and Rip go to protect the family legacy? And who's going to the train station? Generations of blood have led to this. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will prepare you for this must-see premiere event that you do not want to miss. So, from the co-creator, Taylor Sheridan, Yellowstone's epic return is Sunday, November 10th at 8, 7 Central, only on Paramount Network. Tune in. Now let's get back to the show.
You know what's so crazy? This group influenced the presidential election of 2024.
Yo, listen.
Ain't that fucking crazy?
Don't even say influence. We decided
We
it.
were the turning point.
Just
We truly
know,
were.
just know. And we'll be left out of everything, and that's fine. We don't give a fuck about the credit. We know what we do.
I don't need this credit.
It's fine. We'll be left out of everything. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter. That is the nature of things that we started. Everybody else does it. But he was not up until this pod.
True.
After the pod, he surges, what, 3 or 4%?
Yeah, it was a rap, dude.
Never went back down after that. Okay. Shout out my Samoans. Shout out my Maudis.
Was that a haka?
That was a haka.
That's fine.
I just did a haka. I learned that one. That
The
was
straightest haka ever.
it was a really good haka.
You ever seen a gay haka before?
I have. Come on, dude. Come on.
Is that disrespectful? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they
man.
gonna fuck you up and out.
It's our culture.
And you go to Hawaii soon.
All right, listen. What a fucking election special. It is crazy that we had any influence at all.
Yeah, it's really nuts, dude. I texted you. That's the most
absolutely
insane
absurd.
shit ever. My wife looked at me at about 10 p.m. and she goes, "You did this." That's it. Hey, we asked her to come on. Brown bitch ain't want to come on.
Why didn't she? Why didn't she?
I don't know.
Is she gonna be at the inauguration? Like,
Does she have to?
As VP, she's got to be there, right?
I don't even think she's conceded yet. Dick.
Whoa. Whoa.
She's doing it 6 p.m. today. We're recording this Wednesday.
4 p.m. today.
They moved it up?
Yeah. Unless they move it back, but
She probably gonna show up at 6. Minority ass.
Yuppie. He knows.
I said minority.
He knows.
I called her brown. I never would call
Bro,
her
with
that.
You don't think she's black?
She's a brown bitch. She's a brown bitch.
do you guys think that plays a little part in like the success of white people around the world just being on time?
No, I don't.
Do you think a little?
Fashionably
No.
late. That's y'all. That's not like the thing now.
No. We're on time, people.
That's because you're not fashionable ever.
The whites are on time. The whites are on time.
You're never on time.
Me?
You were the last one
I'm
here
not
by
white.
an hour. Dude.
I'm not white.
What are you?
Orthodox? I am Orthodox. You know.
Wait, but you guys aren't concerned at all with the way
I
stopped myself up first. I stopped myself first.
You're going to be stressful about. Are you concerned about Project 2025 and what's going to happen to democracy in America? Are you concerned about it? Oh, there's a sale in Kith. I don't care.
Wait, how you doing? Gay hawk? I got a gay hawk. I get myself out of here. Gotta get myself out of this one.
Oh my God.
Al is one Ame sale away from not giving a fuck about what happened in this election, bro. Ame, put some shit on 40% off for Al. So get over this
Nah,
shit.
send me the pre-packs. No, okay, never mind. You brought it up. I'm just
Ask
curious.
him. What's your
Concerned
question?
about what?
Because you see how Twitter is right now. I know it's coming.
Well, how's Twitter right now?
Like all the fucking anti-Semitized shit that you see.
Anti-Semites?
Stalactites.
Miles don't start. I'll send it your direction.
Hey, this is Miles America, dog. Hey, you can't talk to Miles like that no more.
You do whatever you want to do over there.
Nah.
Miles so happy.
Miles texts me, man, lady's like, damn, we losing, right?
He just goes, wrong text. All right. No, what were you saying? What, there's a lot of anti-Semitism?
I give up.
There's a lot of anti-Semitism on...
Are you
on
concerned about racism or
No, Elon, the way he slashes jobs. Like, he doesn't do it strategically. He's just like,
What about anti-Semitism?
Yeah, what does that have to do with?
he broke Twitter in a way that Twitter's kind of wild now. Like, it's not
I
as...
see what you're saying.
Twitter is wild, and that is the cost of free speech. And I think what's happening right now is basically people are... So you get a new car, right? You get a Ferrari, you want to drive as fast as it can go. That's what people are doing with free speech. Ideally, what happens is in the next year, 2 years, people start going, oh, you don't need to drive the car as fast every single time. And I think this would happen when like Sirius XM came around. Remember, like, and you could curse on Sirius XM and everybody was cursing. And then people start to realize like, oh, it doesn't make it better that you can curse. You know, like eventually you actually have to say things that are like thoughtful and interesting. So right now it's working that you could just be, you know, super racist or super anti-Semitic or super hateful. And I think eventually it just kind of calms down. That's my suspicion.
Part of the reason is because he slashed jobs by so much. And so some of the people that were like, would tame down that noise are no longer there.
I don't believe that. I believe that he's committed to free speech, and unfortunately, free speech protects hate speech.
All right. I think it's the 70% drop in.
No,
I don't
because
believe
you
he's
can-
as altruistic as a lot of the right believes. I do believe there's some. He definitely wanted Trump to get elected. He had his reasons. I wonder if it's because JD Vance seems to be in Big Tech's pocket. Like Peter Thiel funded his whole presidential thing. I wonder if they're like, we can control that guy. That's one step away from Trump. Let's get Trump elected.
You trust him, JD Vance?
I do not.
Let me tell you something. To do what he did in
He's
his
nice.
life,
Oh, he's nice, but I don't.
like the guy, his mom was a drug addict, right?
Yeah.
Poor, ends up going to Yale, navigating Yale with really nothing to offer. Remember, a lot of people that go to these like elite private schools, like they're legacy individuals that, and the people at these schools, a lot of them are entering banking and or some sort of like VC hedge fund world, where having wealthy family members is very valuable because you can use them as assets for investment, whatever these companies are. Navigating that world with really nothing to offer those people takes super high emotional intelligence. Yeah. This guy's smart. Yeah. No question. I don't know how much I trust him.
That's exactly how I feel. He's nice. In that debate, he was nice.
He's nice.
He's a shark, dog.
But I need to sit in a room with him and I need to be like, and they asked us to have him on. And my feeling was if we had him on, but we didn't have anybody from the Democrats' side on, it would seem too unfair. Like, I thought we were more or less balanced. We had Cuban on and then we had Trump on. We tried to get someone else, tried to get Buttigieg on. He's supposed to come on, then he has to do debate prep. Maybe that's an excuse or maybe not. But
yeah,
I just felt like it would be too one-sided. Mm-hmm. But I do, in order to know if I can trust him, I got to sit in a room with him. That is, to do what he did in his life is
question his ability.
Is very difficult.
I don't question his ability. I question a little bit his motives and how he
In
operates.
4 years, he's next up.
And think about it, like talk crazy shit about Trump.
Yeah, that's the wildest shit.
Well, to me, this is also evidence. Like people go, "Oh, Trump is about to go after all the people that hated on him." It's like I don't think that's really how he operates. Like if those people take a step in his direction, he's fine.
Vince McMahon.
So if they continue to hate on him, then they might be fucked. But if they try to be diplomatic and they try to work with him and do things, clearly he will forgive. He forgot. The VP is the guy who hated him more than anything, said vile things about him. Now he made him VP, next in line to rule the country.
Could that also show how easily manipulative? I mean, how easy he can be manipulated.
I think that's one way of looking at the argument. And it's just the same coin, right? One side is, oh, he's easily tricked or manipulated. The other side is, he looks at it as business, or he looks at it as the game. He looks at it as politics. And once you're willing to get on board, if you're willing to help the agenda and you can help the agenda, doesn't matter what you said, let's go make this work.
Probably a little bit of both.
So it could be, yeah.
Are things culturally more annoying now with Trump?
Oh, break that down. That's an interesting one.
Like from 2016 to 2020, it just seemed like every day there was like a culture war happening. He would tweet some shit and then people would dissect it and there'd be back and forth. And if you said something like specifically on stage and you'd be like, I think this, people would be like, wait, are you a Trump guy? Are you not? Da, da, da. Is that a redo?
I agree with you.
It's over. It's not a redo. It's an over. It's a unanimous victory. People are exhausted. I actually think him losing in 2020 is the best thing that could have happened because America clearly wasn't ready to reject the path it was going on. And the 2024 victory is America unanimously going, okay, we don't like what the Democrats are offering. We actually don't even trust the way that they're positioning Trump to be. Like, yeah, there might be some issues, but it's not as bad as the Democrats are making it seem. I mean, like seeing Obama on there, like on the trail, and this was like heartbreaking a little bit, like him spouting hoaxes. Like he's on the campaign trail. Like he's saying things that have been debunked and proven false.
Like what?
They're good people on both sides thing. Like there's all these things that, and it's just like even Obama, like this is, maybe I hold him to a higher regard than I should. They're all politicians at the end of the day.
Question about that.
Yeah.
I did hear the full part of what Trump said, but if you're at a rally and there's KKK and white nationalists right next to you, are there good people on both sides? If you're rolling with these people?
So the context of this conversation is the Charlottesville thing. Mm-hmm. And like there were people that don't want to tear down all the statues and the people that do want to tear down the statues. Yeah. And I think his argument that like there's good reasons to want to tear it down and there's good reasons to maybe not want to tear them down. Like we start looking into the morality of all these people that we have statues of, good or bad, all of a sudden they're going to start coming down. Like George Washington had slaves.
I get it.
Yank it. Like,
but I'm saying, if you're marching for something, even though maybe the cause is moral, just or whatever the case is, but right next to you is KKK, it's white nationals, are you really on the right side?
I understand your positioning 100%. The unfortunate thing is sometimes your views align with people whose views are abhorrent. So, for example, KKK people might want smaller government. You might want smaller government. You guys might agree on that. That doesn't mean you support KKK shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying if there's a march for smaller government and KKK shows up and be like, I'm going to sit that one out.
Yeah, he could have said nothing. But it's like if you're in a free speech debate, you're like, look, I see both sides. But that doesn't mean I'm like endorsing the people that are pro-Hitler.
Well, I do think Trump will. He doesn't want to lose ever. So he will co-sign some shit that he shouldn't co-sign if he knows those guys are going to vote for him and he doesn't want, and if he doesn't, then he's going to lose their vote. He'll figure out whoever's outraged on the back end. But let me just not lose their vote. And I don't like that. I don't. I would say also, to your initial point, I think being comedians, we're in making the jokes, whatever. The height of like the cancel culture shit was like 2015, 2016. I think Trump getting elected the first time was the beginning of the downward. We're done with this. And I think 2016, when he won, everybody's like, but he lost to popular. So you still felt emboldened that the majority of the country is with me. Now this is such a decisive victory. Yeah. Trump won the popular. I do think people in the middle have to start looking like, oh, these leftists don't got it. They act like they got it. They don't got it. And they're going to believe what they're going to believe because they're retards, as are people on the far right. But like,
just a rejection. Yeah, it's just a rejection of like actors as influencers.
Oh, yeah.
Actors and musicians don't move the needle.
No.
And a lot of that comes from the connection thing we were talking about earlier. It's like, as famous as actors are, we don't really feel connected to them. Like, I'm not as cool as fucking George Clooney is. He's the coolest guy on the fucking planet. You know, Ocean's 11, 12, 13. I'm like, I just want to exist in those movies. But I'm not connected to him like I am like a guy like Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan could influence me way more than a George Clooney. And I think that exists even at the highest level, like a Taylor Swift. You know, we have an idea of who Taylor is, but I don't know if she connects with us on a day-to-day basis like a podcaster does. Or to be fair, like radio hosts did back in the day. Like a Howard Stern probably had way more influence.
Yeah. I mean, I think evidence of that is like the Tinos coming out. Like,
What's that?
Like Latinos came out in like big numbers
for Trump.
Yeah. And like, I think that was like the biggest disparity from 2020. I think it was like 25 or 30 points.
Yeah.
More Latinos, even in like swing states like PA and shit.
Yeah.
So even on the heels of like Tony's joke, and people were like, clear. Oh, this is going to swing the election, It seems like it had no effect.
No effect.
And Latinos were still like, no, we like Trump.
And that's, again, in the face of the cancel culture thing. It's like, that was one thing I did get right. We talked about it on the Patreon. I was like, I don't think this joke hurts Trump or Tony at all. I don't think it fucking matters. They're both going to be fine. Because it's just a joke. And again, to the cancel culture thing, we're not buying into that shit anymore.
I heard an interesting take about that from Noam, from the Comedy Cellar. And he basically said, like, the fact that they didn't vet the jokes is indicative of them not caring about comedy being like them not
dangerous.
Dangerous. Like in a positive way, meaning like they're like, we're not going to be the administration that like censors jokes. Like they're just jokes. Why would we waste time looking over your jokes? We don't need to do that.
It's true.
You're a comedian and you just do it. Now, that might be a very gracious way of looking at it, but I thought it was a kind of interesting take. Like, I imagine the Democrats would be like, well, we need to see every single word and see every single joke. And they're like, we're not going to police your fucking jokes. That's not what our organization is doing. That's not what our administration is going to do. I thought it was an interesting take. It's more one of those takes that like, I want to believe. I don't know if it's actually real, but yeah.
Yeah, Tony's vindicated though.
Yeah.
Tony is free. He was watching that shit nervously, bro. Bro, Kamala.
Stay out of Spanish Harlem.
Yeah. Puerto Ricans, they might still be upset, by the way. Tony.
It's actually, he picked the perfect group because most Latinos don't like Puerto Ricans.
So that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like all these white people are coming out like, yo, Puerto Rico is not garbage. But all these Latinos were like, yo, sometimes you get it right.
I know. Like, honestly,
sometimes jokes are true. That's why it's funny. Yeah. Did you guys talk about it on the Patreon, the Tony Hinchcliffe joke?
Yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, we basically said the environment wasn't conducive to doing these jokes.
Also, the joke just didn't make sense. Like,
and I think like
for New Yorkers is what I'm saying. Like New Yorkers, we think of Puerto Rico as this like tropical, beautiful island.
Oh yeah,
it's not viewed as like a garbage island.
That's a great point.
So that's why the audience was like, "Huh, that's weird."
Also,
because it's like our first trip to a tropical, beautiful place in our lives. So the punchline didn't make sense, and that's why I didn't land in the room.
Yeah.
There are maybe places that you could use that would have worked for the joke, for sure. But I think the takeaway now is just yeah, he's a comedian. He's a roast comedian. Like Jon Stewart,
He's the GOAT.
hats off to Jon Stewart because he took that shit on the chin. Like he went immediately, hey, he's a roast comedian. He's hilarious. This is what they do. Maybe the administration shouldn't have brought him up there to do it because that's what he does. But we're not going to get upset at the guy for doing the thing he does.
Yeah.
And for him, knowing the base that he's built and the trust that they have in him to come out there and say that first, I think that took a lot of the heat off of.
Yeah. He's the best.
Yeah. So what happens now? What does the media do? I don't think the media can sit back and go, all right, we don't have the influence that we had before, and we have to change all our programs, and we have to make everything long form where you can really get to know somebody. It just doesn't match the goal of legacy media, which is to sell pharmaceuticals or to sell Bud Lights or whatever the fuck the reason why there are all these shows. So I think the only thing they can do is deny that they have a lack of influence and then make radioactive the opposition.
Yeah. Same play.
The same play always. So it's just like, you're racist, you're blah, blah, blah. Like you're sexist, you're a bad person. I would not be surprised if there are articles about us and the other podcasts that were successful in this time that are not supportive and congratulatory. I wouldn't see the article as, wow, they built up a community and they were able to have a conversation that was really unique.
They'll leave out that we asked Kamala multiple times to come on.
Of course. And they'll probably try to make us as toxic as possible by bringing up everything that we may be tangentially accused of throughout our careers and not mentioning anything successful that we've done throughout our careers. Because that's the only thing that they can do to maintain their status quo.
Yeah. Which is a badge of honor, kind of.
It's a badge of honor, but I think it's important to talk about these things. Like, one thing I'll give Trump credit for is his calling out the media created protection for him.
Yeah.
Because the media, online, new media, old media, can create narratives that are just not true.
Yeah.
And you have to decide. You're like, should I address this? Should I just ignore it? And a lot of times you don't want to address it because I don't want to put more heat on it. But there's a version where if you address it, then all of a sudden your fans start to go, oh, this is bullshit. This is made up. This is not true.
Yeah.
And then they stop believing what was going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I wonder, our take is if you're not really a real resource that's not getting a lot of views, it doesn't really matter. We just kind of ignore it. But maybe there's a version where we should be addressing more things.
Maybe.
I figured people are eventually going to see it and then they stop trusting the outlets that just lie for views. But maybe that's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I saw a turn with Rogan. Once all the COVID stuff was happening, he was kind of talking out against it. And then they're using his images with color correction to make him look worse on CNN.
Yeah. And
then the way that they've slandered him after he became vocal about that issue, I think more and more people were like, wait, this guy, lifelong liberal, endorsed Bernie more or less, was supportive of Bernie. And now you're calling him all these names and slurs. It's all right. And I think that is a moment where a lot of people go oh, they're just calling everyone they don't like a Nazi.
Yeah. And I think we should pay attention to who these creators are, who the writers are, and see if there's a pattern.
Oh, okay.
See if there's a pattern of these types of pieces being written. Mm-hmm. See if that's essentially what they do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? In the same way that they'll try to create patterns for us and they'll try to create narratives about us, I imagine that if we look back at the pieces that they make, there will be some patterns that they might not like out there. And it might undermine their journalistic integrity.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So it's something that we should look at. As we go into this new media landscape, it's up to us to also have integrity, which I think we did, especially during the election. We could have been so biased in one direction. We had everybody on the right was willing to come on the show. And we're if we do that, it will just be too biased. Yeah. And we're not going to give our audience a true understanding of what this political landscape is so that they can make the decision that they believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting to see Bezos not endorse Kamala through Washington Post. And then also Zuckerberg kind of at the same time being oh yeah, the Biden administration was trying to get us to squash all these stories.
Yeah, that was wild.
All these large tech guys all simultaneously.
That is also what makes me a little more wary of JD Vance though. And I don't look at that as much as an admonishment of the Biden administration as I do it was a little worrying that all these massive like technocrats or whatever are suddenly all kind of shifting this way. And it could just be they're unhappy. But I also am like, oh, your vice president is funded by a technocrat. This seemed a little convenient, the timing.
Yeah, but also like Pence was funded, but like was largely influenced by like the evangelical right, and I don't feel like that played like a huge effect on Trump outside of the.
I just don't fear their influence.
That
as
was
much.
huge.
Yeah, but like I mean, it didn't stop necessarily like Pence. You know, like Pence wasn't just like lapdogging on Trump. You know what I mean? Like there's still like friction between them, and so in the same way, I wonder how much JD can actually even influence Trump.
This is not my conspiracy, but if we're getting real conspiratorial,
Let's go.
these guys are powerful enough to be like, yo, let's just get Trump out of there and let's get our guy. He's VP now. We couldn't have got him elected. We can make him president now that he's VP.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I should give credit to whoever, but like, yeah, that's not, but it didn't seem completely impossible when he said it.
I think that all of these people are hedging. And I think Bezos is hedging. Bezos didn't endorse Trump. He just said, I'm not going to endorse any of them. And by not endorsing through the Washington Post is what we're talking about. He left it open for interpretation. And now he can go to Trump and be like, hey, listen, there's certain government contracts I would like to continue. I mean, Jeff Bezos got like really favorable government contracts for his space program. Elon is best buddies with Trump. I can't fathom that Trump is going to side with Bezos over Elon for any type of like government funded space exploration. But maybe, and I imagine when you get to that level of business, you need government influence, and maybe he's doing this just to protect his interests.
That's a weird thing that newspapers actually endorse any kind of
insane, right?
That shit makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an unbiased journalistic paper.
Yeah.
That's weird in itself. So I actually like the fact that they didn't.
None of them should. Let us read your articles, and by reading your articles, we come to a decision. You don't have to tell us what to do. None of us told you. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like we made a point to not say who we're voting for. I don't want to tell you guys what to do. You guys are smart. You can make your own fucking decisions.
Yeah. Read the fucking articles and then wait for J-Lo to endorse someone and then do what she does.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
That's what I did.
Wait for J-Lo to go up there and fake cry. Yo, I loved how like the second she was fake crying up there, the Diddy marriage came out. Like, because she was there the night where Diddy shot that dude and then blamed Shine.
Yeah.
And she rode with Diddy, which is like, you are ride or die.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out J-Lo for that one. I mean, it's fucked up, but shout out J-Lo for that one.
Yeah.
But she lied on the stand for Diddy. Right?
Like,
Like,
just done that out of sheer terror.
Did she take the stand? I thought she didn't want to take the stand because she didn't want to lie.
oh, so maybe she didn't take the stand.
Yeah.
Maybe she pled the fifth or something like that. But like, she knew what the fuck was going on.
Oh, yeah, she knew.
And this is the beauty of like, and also the annoyance of like when these celebs get involved in these things, you're just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't need you to hear about how toxic Trump is. It's like you were married. Not like you were just dating. You were married to Diddy.
How long were they married for? Like a while? Or was it like a year thing and then it broke up?
I think in Puerto Rican standards, it's very long.
It's like dog years.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I would say it was about 21 years of marriage. Yeah, in Puerto Rican, with Puerto Rican standards.
That's a good, that's a long time.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That's
So-
a long time.
Yo, shout out to J-Lo, man.
Have you read Kim Porter's book yet?
No.
No.
Bro, you gotta read it, dude.
It's not her book.
It's her book, bro. It's her
not-
words.
it's not her book, bro.
words. Come on.
It's not her book.
Diddy was banging everyone and their husbands.
I believe that.
We didn't talk about
Young Thug.
Thug.
Oh, shit.
This
yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
This
What
is-
what an insane sentence.
I mean, kind of wild. And not shocked that they did it before the election. They knew they were going to lose this fucking trial.
Oh.
And I think they did it before the election because they knew that it would be completely squashed by the election. This is a 5-year-long trial. I think the most expensive trial in Georgia history.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they get nothing. They get time served,
I know, it's crazy.
15 years
15
probation.
That's nothing.
which I feel like eventually they're going to take down on good behavior. Does that happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can renegotiate your probation based on good behavior.
Yeah.
So like you're on good behavior for a few years, then you're
What does
taken down.
probation mean? What are you not allowed to do?
Can't smoke, can't drink. I think he has to move out of Atlanta.
Oh,
You know, probation officer that
He
you have to
can't
check in
talk to
with.
anybody.
That's kind of nice.
He can't associate with anybody who has gang affiliation.
He's gonna get so healthy.
How are they going to monitor all of this?
Well,
that's
he's
right.
probation officer. Right?
If you
Going through all your
tweet
text
anything,
messages?
if you post anything, it's like he really has to live like a fucking Mormon right now until for the next 15 years. Or
I mean, there are certain things that you could get away with. What I would say is the probation, and I obviously I don't know what the fuck jail is like. I'm sure it's fucking horrible. But the idea of like the looming violation of probation over you, like every second. Oh, if I do this, is it gonna?
Yeah, but trust me, you
Way
take
better
that.
than being in jail. 1,000%.
Like he was facing life.
Yeah.
He was facing life.
Yeah, literally
So
life, yeah.
he won.
Yeah, wow.
This was a win. Major win.
This is why you need Republicans, man.
Yeah, real talk.
This is why you need Republicans, bro.
They got Kodak out?
Yeah, Republicans would have never wasted money. They'd be like, free him, bro. Free Thug, bro. We need more music.
Didn't Trump do something with Lil Wayne too? Didn't he like get him?
Wayne's, I think, endorsed Trump.
Is that what it was?
I just have a real quick question about this is Lil Wayne. I wonder if this is just media. I wonder if this is an angle trying to convince us. Like, I look at everything that I consume right now. It's like, is there a narrative here that people are trying to justify a decision? And it very well could be people are taking the worst parts of his concerts and putting them on the internet to justify him not being the Super Bowl halftime performer. But what is being shown on Twitter, I don't think is indicative of a Super Bowl halftime performance. And I say this as someone who supported Wayne his entire life. I fucking love Wayne, one of the greatest rappers of all time. Have any of you seen Wayne live?
I've seen him live and it was amazing.
Okay, so then
Amazing.
maybe this is people hating on the internet and
Fake
trying.
news.
It's
Fake
yeah,
news.
How long
maybe
ago
this is
was
fake
it?
news.
It was a while. It was when him and Drake were doing that co-tour situation, and he would actually body Drake almost every night. Like I saw 2 shows, and it was
Okay,
He
so then-
he steals the show.
Okay, so then and what you're seeing now on the internet, you're like, this doesn't match up at all
Yeah,
with
the
what.
audio wasn't good. Like it was,
Okay.
it was a little off. Like
So this is some hating shit.
I think so.
And
Personally
who's
think so.
behind that?
I don't know. It's just maybe not the greatest production.
Also, the Kendrick team online is pretty.
Who's behind it, bro?
I mean,
Who's behind it?
if it is, then
The Democrat shill, Jay-Z?
nah,
The Kamala supporter,
Jay-Z's
Jay-Z?
been quiet.
He got his wife out there doing a fucking
personally
fake
endorse
concert.
nobody.
Yeah, because
Jay-Z's know what
he's a
time it is.
criminal. You don't put criminals on stage unless they're the president.
Exactly. He should have backed the criminal.
Nah, that is fucking 50 Cent is a man, bro. They ask him nonstop to do. They hit me up. The Trump team hit me up and asked if I could reach out to 50 to get him to come to the MSG shows, and I was like, I don't know, man. That's it's 50 marches
That's
the
a
beat of
big
his
ask.
own drum.
Yeah, that's
This is
a big
what he
ask.
does, whatever he wants, and he always says he doesn't do religion or politics. And after Trump won, he posted a picture with him and Trump, and he goes, I'm always walking out the ring with the winner. Or something to that. Like anger. You know what I mean? Like this guy is.
He's great.
Oh man. There was a great interview with him where he was talking about Nelly's It's Hot in Here. Did you see this?
No.
He was on Ebro and he was talking with Ebro about Nelly's It's Hot in Here. He's remember it's hot in here. I think on all my clothes. And he goes, when I saw that song come out, I was like, oh, this shit is a hit. And then he goes, so they make Lloyd Banks Fire,
Yeah.
which is like, and he blatantly said, I couldn't believe he was blatantly saying, he goes, so we made Lloyd Banks Fire, which is just another version of It's Hot in Here.
Yeah.
And he blatantly says, he goes, there's been plenty of times throughout my career where like I saw a song that was hot and we did our version of that song was hot and then blew up.
Wow.
I couldn't believe an artist was sharing that.
Yeah.
And it just shows like the way he thinks about rap, like he's thinking of it as, he's obviously a creative guy, but like there's a business behind this. McDonald's comes out with the McRib. What's Wendy's up to?
It was not far how he came up because on the mixtape scene, all he was doing was just taking people's song and then
flipping them.
Yeah.
I mean, smart, but just a lot. I don't think a lot of artists would admit that there was another song that was really hot and they wanted to do
yeah.
a version to compete.
they would
So much
never-
insecurity. I started this. I made the whole flow. I created everything. Just to be like, look, the shit was fire. And so we did our version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, 50's the man, bro.
Right?
He's really the man.
We need 50 on a pod.
Bro, he scared
ASAP.
me when he was going at the guy with the chain. That shit terrified me.
Wait, whoa.
So a guy, a jeweler in New York.
TraxNYC.
Oh, tracks. Oh my God.
I didn't know this was a thing you can't do. I grew up in the suburbs. I did not know this was a violation of love.
Trax a wild boy too.
Yeah.
Tell this whole story.
That's funny.
Basically, 50
I
Cent
got
gets a
this one.
brand new
Trax is a
chain.
legendary.
I got this
Is a
one.
legendary New York City jeweler.
Yeah.
Legendary, and he has used social media brilliantly to build his brand. Like he does these things that you can't not look at. It's amazing. He'll just like take gold bars and he'll like hand them out to random people in the street.
He'll hide them all over the
He'll
city.
hide them and say, go find it. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's really creative with his usage of social media as advertising for his business. Okay, go on.
But this thing terrified me, bro. So basically, 50 Cent comes out with a brand new chain, and he's like, yo, this is my new chain. He got it made by a specific jeweler that 50 always works with. And then Trax sees the chain and goes, hey, guys, 50 has the sickest new chain, so I've made basically a replica that I'm selling, and you can buy them now.
That's not exactly how it was.
Is that not what happened?
No, 50 had an iconic chain. And then Trax was like, yo, remember this 50 chain we're selling these pieces. It was a Jesus piece.
Yeah.
But I don't think 50 was like, yo, here are my new chains, and he's selling replicas.
No. 50 just came out with a chain. It was like
He's had it that's like an old chain.
No,
I
it was
didn't
a
know that.
cross.
Yeah. But it's a cross, it's the piece.
Yeah, it's a Jesus piece.
But it's an old thing.
that's like
and
his
he's-
iconic thing.
No, it was a thing that I popularized, but I don't know if he did a brand deal with a jeweler
No.
specifically.
It just he got one made not by Trax, but just by a different jeweler.
I just want to set the record straight for what happened. Yeah.
And then Trax saw it and was like, oh, this chain is fire.
This piece is a cross, yeah.
And now I'm gonna make my own version of it.
And he was like, yo,
Very
here are the
similar.
50 Cent crosses.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and he used 50 Cent in the video.
Yeah.
And 50 Cent just goes, this was foolish. You'll hear from my lawyers or something like that. But then Trax takes a fucking duffel bag of gold and platinum bars and goes to Queens. Goes to 50's neighborhood and starts handing them out.
Wow.
And 50 got so much love in the neighborhood still. Did some random street dudes just walk up to him while he's in the neighborhood and go, yo, you gotta get out of here.
Wow.
50's not even in the neighborhood anymore.
That's fine.
But the fact that they knew something, he was like,
That's
yo, you gotta
crazy.
get the fuck out of here.
Is Trax the bravest guy in the world?
Yeah, you know that he went and fought the watch dude that we hung out with in Ireland.
What?
Nico?
Oh, watch Nico, yeah.
Like, he went out there and they fought.
Why?
Because they were beefing over something, and he pulled up and they boxed. I'm telling you, this guy Trax is like an underrated self-marketer. Like in New York City, we know him, but outside of New York, put it this way: you know how like now with the popularity of like watches, all the guys on 46th Street started to really blow up the watch trading thing.
yeah.
It became a huge trend, and they deserve all their success, and it's amazing. And but Trax before that was like a viral jewelry guy in an area that we knew in the city. But I guess it wasn't, I don't know, how do you describe it, Al?
I'm just saying, to make noise being in the Diamond District is crazy, because it's like opening a shoe store, and there's 1,000 other shoe
That's still
stores
the
right next
exact
to you.
same
So
shit.
you have to be cutthroat. You have to market yourself better than everybody. You have to just do something different to stand out. He's been able to stand out. Greg Una is another one. Mr.
Greg,
Flaw.
yeah.
Greg makes
Like,
beautiful
they've
pieces.
just
Great
done
marketing.
Moses,
Great
the jeweler.
Moses the
Yeah.
jeweler has
Yeah.
been phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's been phenomenal. And there's one more kid that I was talking to. Oh, fuck. He does some stuff with Moses.
Benny.
What's his name? Vukum. They've been phenomenal.
All I'm saying is 50 Cent comments on my post, this was foolish.
You've taken a post down.
I'm on probation. I'm on Young Thug time. I'm going to Malibu. I'm 15 years. You'll never hear about me.
The best was
Trax will see that.
He's like,
let's go.
So he created the content because he said like
Trax got some Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, this is going to be fun. Let's
That is
dance.
terrifying.
he had several days to do it because 50 also said, I'm going to need that by Monday, which is the scariest
I'm
thing
gonna
that 50
need that
could
by
ever.
Monday.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to need that. But need what?
I need the money.
I mean, you need that.
Because the famous
Yeah.
battle that he got into was with the producer Randall Emmett, and it was the
Tell
greatest
this-
reality show that's ever
Tell this
existed.
story. This is fire, bro.
Randall Emmett's a producer that was making all these indie movies with 50 Cent, and I think he just owed him a few $100,000 that he
And
didn't
his
get.
wife was one of the chicks on Vanderpump
Yeah.
Rules. Okay. So they got into it over something.
and they got into it. There was just nothing.
50
It was
laid it
weekly.
all out.
But it was nonstop, and it was just like this
What,
guy.
like just dirt about him?
Dirt posting the least flattering photos you've ever seen.
He's coked up and shit. Like, yeah.
And
But-
then he would actually then post the calls of this guy. Hey, 50, please stop doing this. It was crazy. It was pure torture. And then he eventually got paid, and
Yeah, that's terrifying. 50 Cent Candace gets a hold of you. Yeah, any one of them, you're done.
50 or Candace,
done.
you don't want no problems, bro. I know Candace tweeted a little video of us saying we don't want no problems.
Yeah.
Just the fact that she tweeted a video of us, I was like, that was
You get the notification.
I
It's
said,
done.
no, not Candace. Nah, Candace, you gotta play around with. Don't play around with Candace. You don't play around with 50 Cent. Simple as that.
That shit scared me, bro.
Yeah. Hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys like the results of the election.
What about Dr. Umar? What's he doing?
Yo, what's
Man.
up with that?
I said we would donate the money. So Dr. Umar, you got to pay him to go on white podcast.
Yeah.
Respect.
I love that.
And black podcast. Shit.
Yeah.
You got to get paid.
He got to get paid.
But whatever. And so I said I would do it. I was like, yeah, we'll donate the money to the school.
At first. And then
We're waiting for the deal. We never got the deal.
And then he said he only wants to go on if it's just you.
Oh, that was right. That's right.
Yeah. Did we ever follow up about it's not like a gotcha thing? We just want to.
That's it. I think
We did.
the perception of it is, I think he believes that we're going to debate. I don't think that he realizes
We're
that-
going to endorse him. There's going to be a lot of agreements.
This is like the pyramids. Like, just tell me whatever you think about the world. This is
colonizer, enslaver, and occupier. I just want more of those.
Well, yeah,
CEO.
just
I just want
me
more
with
CEOs.
all your acronyms. I am so ready to have some fun. But the boys got to be here. It's no fun
I
if
know,
it's
yeah,
just. But he thinks that we're going to gang up on him. I assume that's what the concern is.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, Dr. Umar, that is not what's going to happen. We just want to have some fun. My
Come in
brother.
Come in peace.
My brother in melanin. My brother in Christ and melanin.
I got to give his number to Duff. I think Duff could pull it off.
You think?
What do you
Yeah.
think about the dreidels?
Yeah. What does he think about the dreidels?
I have a feeling he don't like
He
him.
probably loves him. I think he's a huge fan.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Do my best, but yeah, give me a number.
Yeah. Duncan just, fast talk them, buzzwords. I think it'll
Buzzwords?
be good. Yeah, buzzwords.
Listen, Dr. Umar, we love you. We want you on, but you got to come and hang with the boys.
Hell yeah.
Okay. We support whatever your agenda is, whatever your geopolitical agenda is, whatever your emotional agenda, whatever your agenda is, just know that we are huge fans. We support it and we love it over here. Okay.
No bunny hopping.
No bunny hopping. Oh, we don't believe in bunny hopping over
do
here.
it. We don't
Shout
do
out
it.
to the buttercreams. Shout out to the vanilla creams. Shout out to the pecan
Yeah, the caramel.
brownies, the
Yeah.
caramels.
Yeah.
Like, you describe women's skin in the most amazing, poetic way. We want
Delicious.
those descriptions over here. Okay? Shout out to Autumn.
Yep.
We want you on the pod, but we got to end this pod right now. God bless you. God bless all of you. Welcome to the next golden age of America. Let's fucking go.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.